Hey, it's Jack, and this is just going to be a quick one on something that I heard today that appalled me when I heard it, and I just wanted to break it down. It's the words of Rex Heuermann at his sentencing for being the Gilgo Beach killer. Normally, I try not to be too judgmental when I analyse someone's words because I don't want to be, led by emotion, but rather by the logic inside someone's words. If you're new here, that's what I do. I look at the words that people speak to ask why they chose those words, to look and see what the real intention was behind them. I don't think this would have gone down well with many people, and potentially that's just gut instinct of, he's not sorry at all. Let me just point out some of the words he used, some of the things he didn't say, and why your gut might have gone, shut up, Rex. Let's have a listen to what it was he said in court today with this exchange.
Is there anything you wish to say before I pronounce sentence?
Yes.
Stand up.
There are no words I can say. I am responsible for what was said in this room today. The words I would say have no meaning, and I'm going to leave it there at this time.
Speak up.
Mr. Heuermann, as Mr. Tierney said, I know that you're sorry that you got caught. I assume that you're sorry for what you've done to your wife and children. Are you a little bit sorry for what you did to these poor innocent women? 8 women that you strangled to death? At least 8 that we know of? Are you at least a little bit sorry for that? Yes?
Yes, I am.
Right, let's break down the words that he used there. So the judge says to him, is there anything you wish to say before I pronounce the sentence? And Rex says, yes. And then he starts to say, there are no, and the judge tells him to stand up. He interrupts him in the middle of it, and he says, there are no words I can say. So first of all, let's just look at how he answers the question. Is there anything you wish to say before I pronounce the sentence? It's a yes-no question, and he doesn't dodge that question. He says yes, which is truthful answer. And he's directly saying, yes, there is something I want to say before the sentence is pronounced. That is there in his words with that yes. And yet, if we take the interruption out, he says, yes, there are words I wish to say. And then he says, there are no words I can say. And that's what he wants to say. He wants to look as if he is deep and meaningful. There are no words I can say. That's what he wants to say. There is something he wants to say, and it's that, which is empty. And look at how he doesn't finish the thought of. Have you ever heard someone say, or have you ever said something like, there's nothing I can say to make it better? There's nothing I can say that will show you how sorry I am. There's a finishing point to that phrase, there are no words I can say, but he doesn't say it. He wants to convey the impression that he is maybe sorry, and there's nothing he can say to bring back his victims. There's nothing he can say that will ease the pain of the victims' families or the terror that he caused, but he can't say that. He can't bring himself to finish off the thought. Why? Because I don't believe it's inside him. I don't believe that he has the natural empathy, sympathy, or remorse inside him to be able to finish that off. He wants to look like a normal person, ruing what he did, regretting what he did, but in his words, he can't finish it off. He can't be like a normal person and say something like, there are no words I can say that will make any of this better. He doesn't finish the thought off. He just says there are no words he can say. And then we get the bit that turned my stomach. He said, I am responsible for what was said in this room today. So I am responsible. He's taking some responsibility. He is owning it with that word I, but what is he responsible for? What was said in this room today. Not taking 8 innocent lives, not ruining the lives of countless others who were family members or close friends of the woman that he killed. He is responsible for people talking in a room today, just today, nothing on the wider sense. Some of these things have gone on for years. And again, I just don't believe it's inside him to have that empathy. And that's why it doesn't show up inside his words. I understand that what was said in that room today was victim impact statements and, people talking from the heart about what the actions that Rex had taken had done to their lives, but he's not able to talk about his actions. And look as well, once more, he doesn't mention who did the talking in the room today. He cannot bring himself to mention these people. He does not say, I'm responsible for what the victims said, families said today, or even what the victims' families feel. Or it's certainly not, I am responsible for taking the lives of these 8 women. It's just responsible for what was said in the room today. So passive, he doesn't mention the victims' families at all, doesn't mention the victims. You'll also notice, and I'm sure everyone did, that the word sorry is not in any of this at all. Then he says, the words I would say have no meaning. So he does have words that he wants to say. He has something that he wants to get out there. He's cannot hold himself in from saying, I do have things I want to say. The words I would say. So he has words in his head that he would say. An excuse, a reason, something we don't know, because he's not going to say them, and he says they have no meaning. And then he says, I'm going to leave it there at this time. In his head, I think he wants to say more. I don't know why he wants to say more. Does he want to be acknowledged for the brilliance of his crimes? Does he want to give reasons and excuses as to why things happened? But he wants to say more. He has plans to say more in some way. Could he plan on terrorizing his victims' families from inside his prison cell? Potentially he could, but he does indicate there he has more to say and he has plans to say it. I am going to leave it there at this time, but I cannot, before I move on, I am responsible for what was said in this room today is terrible. And again, he doesn't finish off that. The words I would say would have no meaning. There's no because at the end of it or any explanation. No mention of the victims, no mention of the victims' families at all. It's terrible. Then the judge admonishes him and says, I assume you're sorry for what you've done to your wife and children. Are you a little bit sorry for what you did to these poor innocent women? 8 women that you strangled to death. At least 8 that we know of. Are you at least a little bit sorry for that? Yes. And Rex says very quietly, yes, I am. Which he does say yes to the question, and he says, I am. But once more, because I believe it's not inside him, he can't finish the thought off and say any content. Just yes, I am. You could say that in 1,000,001 different places and contexts and so on, and it would work. And it's, here, and it works. But it doesn't say, sorry for that. Sorry for what? He doesn't say, yes, I am. He doesn't even say, I'm sorry for that, which would then refer back to the question of strangling 8 women to death. He can't do that, let alone expand. Yes, I am sorry for ending 8 women's lives, at least 8 women's lives. I am sorry for the pain, heartache, sorrow that I have brought on any of these people. He can't expand on any of that. I'm responsible for what I said in the room really got me. But then when I dug into the words and saw, didn't mention the victims, doesn't mention the victims' families, he alludes to them, but he can't bring himself to mention those people. It got me so annoyed. I wanted to break that down and just share it with you so you can see the words that we choose reveal so much about us. And I think that's what happens there. But for me, with Rex, it's the words that he doesn't choose. It's the fact that he doesn't finish off any of those thoughts. He doesn't say, yes, I am sorry. He doesn't say, yes, I am sorry for that. He doesn't say, yes, I am sorry for, and then talk about some much larger concepts like the pain he has caused, the terror he has caused, the lives that he has ruined with his actions, because I believe it is not inside him. And that really got me. That's how a coward talks. That's how someone with no empathy for the victims of what he's done talks. That's how someone with low responsibility for what they've done talks. I'm responsible for what was said in this room. That's almost like he's gloating about it, isn't it? I'm responsible for what was said in this room. Well done, you. There you go. That's Rex Heuermann's sentencing statement. It was only a few words, and I had more than a few words to say about it because I just don't think he's got any empathy or remorse inside him, and therefore it would not come out in his words. Let me know in the comments what you think. You can also get in touch with me on social media. I am Jack Fox, NATW, just about anywhere else. And if you want to see some more on Rex, I think I've analysed his wife as well, and a whole load more people talking in court. Sentencing hearings have been really popular recently. You can find loads more of those at neveratruerword.com. I'll see you soon for something new from Never a Truer Word. And remember, just like with Rex there, the truth is always in the words.